the waterfront itself is not gone. So eat your seafood and wave to your fishermen and enjoy what we do have still, because we'll be back celebrating it soon.
Today we're going to talk about SeaFeast, a great festival in Bellingham that's not happening this summer. And to help us talk about that, we have Liz and Elma, organizers at the festival. Welcome.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks for having us.
So for people not familiar with SeaFeast, can you give us a snapshot of what SeaFeast is all about?
Absolutely. Bellingham SeaFeast is the best weekend on Bellingham's waterfront. It began in 2016, and it's a celebration of our maritime culture and heritage, the thriving working waterfront that we have, our water resources, our commercial fishing and seafood industries that are thriving, and the culinary bounty that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. And we have a 2-day celebration in Squalicum Harbor that attracts over 10,000 people throughout the weekend. It's a free community event, and it's a great time to have seafood and learn a little more about part of the town you may not know as much about.
I know I'm super bummed not to be able to go out and enjoy that SeaFeast this year, and I've got a couple of years now, and it's a really fun way to spend the weekend. Okay, so what has it been like, as an event planner, trying to create this amazing event and then suddenly being, having to totally shift direction? What has that been like for each of you?
Well, as with everyone, there's kind of this whiplash effect where you are proceeding along as normal, and you recognize that then there's a significant disruption. We went into kind of a wait and pause, listen, learn as much as we could, figure out how long things were going to be lasting, and really what kind of impacts we would have directly. Obviously, in mid-March, when events started getting canceled sort of en masse, that was a pretty significant indicator that if we were able to have an event, it would look very different. We are members of the Washington Festival and Events Association, a statewide industry group that has deployed tons of resources as this has gone on and devastated that industry. And so we began attending weekly webinars, learning from the experts who have been producing live events for decades, and trying to gather as much information as we could about how they were handling it and what sort of issues they were going to be seeing. But definitely March and April were a lot of listening and pausing and replanning, and you get plan B, C, D, and eventually a cancellation statement.
I think everyone sort of has remembers when it really shifted for them. At first it was all happening really quickly, and it's interesting just looking back how we were thinking about it in March, and we were being super cautious, super patient. Some of the emails I sent, now it's like the reality has really changed, and it all happened pretty fast. But like Liz said, it's been really helpful to be in conversation with other event planners. It's sort of a unique group of folks that have been heavily impacted by the pandemic. But there's just a lot of good energy going into how to, if you do have to cancel, how to do it and how to do it right. And we're trying our best to do it right.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about, are there ways that the festival is adjusting or changing it, or is it just totally off for this year?
Obviously, the landscape that we're all living in is changing week by week. If there's an opportunity to have a small scale presence in September on the original festival weekend, we will try to do that. And what that conceptually we're hoping will look like at this point is possibly a seafood sale with some of our seafood industry partners. Right now, in fact, Bornstein Seafoods and Trident, they have put some pop-up sales along our waterfront. And obviously food is something that everyone is really being brought together with during this time. And so we hope that we might be able to arrange something of that nature that is following all the necessary measures in place at that point. But at this point, that's what we hope for. We recognize a lot of events are going to a virtual model. And at this point, really the fun is being on the waterfront and is experiencing the place of Squalicum Harbor. So we're not pursuing that route at this point. And we've just committed to staying in communication with our community and letting them know what we are able to put together as the summer continues.
Yeah, virtual crab is just not quite the same as it is in person, unfortunately. If you could develop that, though, maybe there's something there. Well, going forward, I guess for the both of you, what are the next couple months look like now that you're not working on SeaFeast?
From an organizational standpoint, we want to make sure that we're in the best position possible so that if in 2021 we can all come together again, we are able to press go and activate our festival planning. And so that looks like a lot of policies and procedures and documentation and ensuring that we don't have to recreate anything. We can just pick it up and be ready to welcome people back to the harbor.
The conversation about turning to virtual or not, we've been, and this is what I'm busy with now with my SeaFeast hat on for at least a little bit longer here, is to use our blog platform and our social media and Facebook to sort of do our best to fulfill our mission without gathering people in Squalicum Harbor, which we, of course, love to do and is why the organization of SeaFeast exists. But now entering year 5, this festival is meant to be the 5th year. We do have a growing following and folks who, this town and beyond is full of seafood lovers. And we're just trying to use our platform to encourage folks that you can still eat seafood, even if we don't get to do it all together, even if you have to cook it at home. So we've done some more recipes and promoting with our partners different seafood sales or menu items and things like that are aligned with what SeaFeast is all about. So we'll definitely continue to do that via the fabulous tool of social media for at least a bit longer here as we sort out what we can be in the future.
Is there anything else that you'd like to leave people with as if people think about SeaFeast and other events that may have been canceled in our community, the impact that this has on our community? What would you want people to know?
Well, I've been really encouraged when I do go down to the harbor because it is such a thriving working area, providing essential services. It has been one of the busiest places, I think, in town throughout all of this. So the trail along Zwanich Point Park and the chance to enjoy just the natural beauty, but also see kind of the industry that is still working. I would encourage people to go and enjoy the space and follow all the proper protocol, but to be in that place and know that we want to have large gatherings in our celebration and our festival there again soon. But the waterfront itself is not gone. So eat your seafood and wave to your fishermen and enjoy what we do have still, because we'll be back celebrating it soon.
Well, I'm really grateful for all the support that we've gotten as we had to make this decision. I think folks, Bellingham has done a really good job of, as a whole, handling the situation. And it was nice to feel supported in our choice, despite it being a tough one all around. And like Liz said, our waterfront is still there. And I just want to say also thanks to the fishermen and the essential folks who work on that waterfront. We look forward to celebrating them each year, and we will continue to do so in whatever format is safe in the future.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for both of you being here today. And best of luck in the next couple of weeks. And as you start planning for the future, I know there's still a lot of uncertainty, but we're excited in the future to have SeaFeast back and to enjoy that festival on our beautiful waterfront and to celebrate everything that we have going on for us in this town. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Bellingham Now. To see all of our episodes, go to BellinghamTonightShow.com. New content is added daily, so make sure you subscribe for updates. Thanks for watching.